May I now request Mr. R. Venkatramani, Senior Advocate, and one of the oldest students, if I can say, of Professor Menon. He was a student of Professor Menon in Pondicherry, way back. And I'll leave Mr. Venkatramani to pay his tributes and say more.
I would have spoken extempore. I have a long connection with Professor Menon. Probably I'm one of those fortunate students who have more than 40 years of connection with him. And if I have to narrate this long 40 years of stories, I think I'll probably have to take another 40 years to recount all of them. So I was wondering how to speak about him. And yesterday as I was thinking about it, I thought, let me write a letter to him. I wrote a letter to him. I'm going to read out a letter which I've written to him, with all your permission. Dear Sir, this letter to you is penned with the deep power of thoughts and intentions that it will reach you in any realm God has chosen to house you beyond this tiny planet Earth. Gratitudes of all the wonderful sea of students whom you nurtured in the boundless nursery of your passionate teaching and care will always remain undrained. We will ever remain as toddlers in the cradle of your thoughts and concerns. When the calls of teaching came unto you, I am sure you were seized by dreams profound and deep. You never betrayed your dreams of building minds and shaping hearts. I have pen pictures of you for over 40 years, all sharp and clear. The biography of my pen pictures is a special collection about a scintillating mind, ever daring to walk on the edges of challenges and changes. I know you touched thousands of us, in ways more than one, and touched each in ways so special and personal. All of us are thus talking to you in words and languages, I'm sure, difficult even for the Creator to stop reaching you. As powerful as you are with us, so grateful and strong are our conversations with you. Conversations endeavoring to translate your visions and dreams of social justice education into a grand and real narrative of our nation. Yet, I have special memories and I am proud to possess them. When you landed in 1974 at the head of the Government Law College in Pondicherry, little did I realize that I would be drawn into a lifelong relationship. You plumbed my soul with what you implanted in my mind on justice, social, temporal, and beyond. Your reading and heights of knowledge did not impact your chronicles of humility, and I can say that you used the Pondicherry Law College as a laboratory for embarking on the long and arduous journey of transforming legal education. When people write special letters like this, the mind always hunts for unerasable memories, sweet and comforting. I am not to hunt, as there has been a long succession of events, all of which show you ever walking your path with conviction and affirmance. When you asked me in 1975, while studying criminology, to write about crimes and causes, I did not foresee that you will be asking me and many others like me to peep into the mysteries of the human mind. Recently, when you said to me after a Sarkla colloquium that liberal theories have to rediscover themselves, you did not surprise me. When you taught me that jurisprudence is not merely a study of rights and duties, but the science of compassion and care, you slowly led me to explorations connecting all branches of human thought and activity. Many of us are fortunate to be in this Manasarovar Yatra. You convincingly and persuasively gathered, like the Pied Piper of Hamelin, the first generation of students in the Bangalore Law School, who lined up in the midst of doubts, questions, and debates. Today, many of them are heading firms of repute and demand. Are we not the knowledge and capability centers we envisioned? With your Midas-like touch, you virtually groomed the first generation of teachers of the Bangalore Law School and many more later, who proudly fill the legal academic space all over the country. I have seen all of them when I flew to Bangalore at your biddings almost every month in the foundation years. I remember you used to walk from the Bangalore Law School building to your humble abode nearby, carrying an umbrella without demands for status and cool comforts, maybe always lost in thoughts for others. You did so even while you lost your young daughter and saw her in every student who came into your fold. You never revealed those hurtful days, but always worked and worked. I think the Bangalore Law School became the new silk route to transforming legal education in India and laying the foundations for global understanding of justice education. What was thought to be the God-forsaken hilltop mansion of the National Judicial Academy at Bhopal, soon after your dynamic Pravesh came alive and the Supreme Court judges, at least the thoughtful judges, became pious converts. I have followed you as well as a tiny shadow. It remains an institution to further explore its potentials. Dear sir, how can I forget the days when we worked together on the report of the Equal Opportunities Commission and the long hours we spent on understanding and unraveling the challenging dimensions of social deprivation and equality. We saw potential in the mature handling of a nation's diversity and the bond between inclusiveness and equality. I am still pursuing my study of equality. When I have doubts, I am sure you will grant me the boon of fresh conversations with you. I feel sorry for the uninformed who bemoan the law school experiments. They live in the past. If all over the world your students have landed and practicing law in manifold forms, you achieved a goal not all the branded scholars of law have done. I will write, sir, with assertion, and I'm sure I'm in great and good company of the new East India Company of lawyers, academics, and even of students to assert that legal education in India will sooner or later be a model of justice education. We will disarmingly smile if I say there can be no room for devils and asuras in this churning of legal education. You connected people as an internet of your own. The Good Samaritan in you lived with you till you breathed your last. Teaching was your yoga, work was your rest, but you belong to the class of people who are never laid to rest. Your bonds with our family were equally special and nourishing. Somewhere my stories and your presence blend without lines. Our family knows the immense sacrifices of Mrs. Menon that gave you all the strength and the will to work till your emaciated frame disabled you. Our singular respects and regards to Mrs. Menon, who has lost her soulmate. I can continue to write, sir, but I end for the day, as many others of better scripts about you. I ever remain your Shishya, always trying to catch up with you, and my letters will always be there. But before I end, I wanted to share one more personal anecdote. In 1978, December, when I was almost winding up my practice in Pondicherry and wondering where to next move and exploring possibilities in Chennai, I received a letter from Professor Madhava Menon, who was then back in Delhi University. He said, I want you to come and practice in Supreme Court. I made arrangements for you to come to Delhi. And I was not very sure whether what he said was something so possible, so easily. And in January 1979, he came to Chennai for some work and came all the way to Pondicherry to meet with me and tell me that I am going to Delhi to practice in Supreme Court. And he told me, and I told him, sir, I don't know anybody. I'll be a lost soul in Delhi. I don't know anybody in Delhi. Delhi is a place where I have to be reborn all over again. He said, Venkatramani, I know you so well. Please be prepared to take risks in life, which is my mission in life, and you will follow it, you will never regret it later. And I was there in Delhi in February 1979. The story does not end there. So, Professor Menon had an old Lambretta scooter, when he was, in Delhi University. He came all the way with a Lambretta scooter and picked me up from Karol Bagh and took me all the way to Mr. P.P. Rao, whose chamber I joined. I could never believe that my teacher will be my Lord Krishna. The chariot which he drove, I still remember, is a chariot of great importance for me. So ever since then, 1979 February, is a long journey with him and through him. Now that I know that legal education in this country has lost a great master, but I'm sure his imprints are so deep in each and every one of us that nothing as far as legal education and its transformation will be ever lost. But then we have lost a great soul. I've lost a great father-like figure. And it's very difficult for me to keep recounting about it. Perhaps one day I will write something about how Professor Menon is so indelible to modern education, not only at the national level, at the global level. I know of so many hundreds of teachers in the Commonwealth and then beyond the Commonwealth, and who probably would like to look for further inspiration from Professor Menon's. And one last statement, in every seminar, every conference or a symposium where Professor Menon was either chairing or participating, he used to maintain the handwritten notebooks. They're very special notebooks. I think one day we'll gather all those notebooks, and if can put our hearts together and write commentaries on what he wrote about and what he thought about, I think he would have added immensely to the glory of the traditions which Professor Menon nourished and nurtured. Thank you for your attention.